Hello, my dear students. Now starts the class 10th English medium physics. Okay? And we are about to study types of reflection. Types of reflection. Or you can say kinds of reflection. Okay? Actually, you know beta, there is two types of reflection. Two kinds of reflection. Okay. First, regular reflection or specular reflection. Both are the same name. Regular reflection, and second, this is also called specular reflection. And second type of reflection, irregular reflection. Irregular reflection, or also it is said beta diffused reflection. What is the reason that reflection are two type? Why it is possible that reflection have two natures, regular reflection and irregular reflection? Why? Actually, reflection is depend on the nature of the surface on which light falls. Okay, what I am saying? The reflection of which type possible? The reason of this that reflection are two types is depend upon the nature of the surface on which light falls. If light falls on this surface, then what kind of reflection take place? What kind of reflection maybe takes place is depend on the nature of the surface. On the basis of the nature of the surface, there is two types of reflection that is given. Okay, now we define what is regular reflection or specular reflection and what is irregular reflection or diffused reflection. Okay, see here. What is regular reflection? What is regular reflection? Trying to understand. This is a mirror, that is plane mirror. Plane mirror, that is smooth and polished surface. Okay, so what we see, when a parallel beam of light traveling through a certain medium, when a parallel beam of light let's consider this is parallel beam of light traveling through a certain medium, on striking a smooth and polished surface, is reflect back in the same medium, reflect back in the same medium as parallel beam. As which type of beam? Parallel beam. This phenomenon is called regular reflection. Okay. What is the special thing? All the rays coming on the surface as a parallel beam, coming as a parallel beam, and after reflection returns back as a parallel beam. Okay. What is the reason of this? The reason of this that this surface is plain, smooth, polished, smooth. Okay. So this is possible that what? When a parallel beam of light, this is the parallel beam of light traveling through a certain medium, on striking a smooth and polished surface, returns back in the same medium as parallel beam. So come as parallel beam and also reflected as parallel beam. This phenomenon is called regular reflection. And reason for this, that reflection is as parallel beam, these reflected rays as parallel beam, is this smooth surface. Okay, this is the regular reflection. Once again, I tell you the definition. What is? When a parallel beam of light traveling through a certain medium, on striking a smooth and polished surface, reflect back in the same medium as a parallel beam. As a parallel beam. This phenomenon is called regular reflection. Okay. Now I tell you what is the reason of this regular reflection. Actually, this reflecting surface, this reflecting surface is smooth. Okay. This reflecting surface is smooth. So all the points face the rays. All the points face all rays in same direction. Yes, beta, see, all the rays in same direction. So all the point of the reflecting surface, face the rays in same direction. So the angle of incidence is also same for all rays. For this ray, the angle of incidence is I. For this ray, the angle of incidence is also I. And for this ray, the angle of incidence is also I. So, if all the rays, first, second and third, if all the rays makes same angle of incidence, so angle I is equal to angle R according to the law of the reflection. So if I is same, then R is also same. if I is same, so R is also same. All the I same, all the R same, all the I same and all the R same. So incident rays is also parallel and reflected rays is also parallel. This type of reflection is called regular reflection. What is the reason of regular reflection? The reason is that reflecting surface is smooth. So if reflecting surface is smooth, then all the points facing the rays at same angle, because smooth surface, so angle of reflection is also same, I same, R same, so coming parallel and also reflect parallel, and reason is smooth surface. Understood? Now I want to tell you something other else. Beta, what is the benefit of reflecting surface? What is the benefit of reflecting surface? Actually, the benefit of reflecting surface is we can see the image due to regular reflection. Regular reflection is the basic scientific reason to form images. Okay? And too many things, solar cookers, solar panels, and too many things. Too many applications, just like microscopes and other optical instrument work on the principle of the reflection, regular reflection. This is the use. And a word also used, smooth surface. What is beta? Smooth surface. What is smooth surface? What is actual meaning of a smooth surface? What is actual meaning of a smooth surface? What is scientific meaning of a smooth surface? You know very well. What is, sir? You know, light is a electromagnetic wave. Light is a electromagnetic wave. So wave have wavelength. Wave have wavelength. Then, sir, what is the relation of wavelength to smooth? Yes, there is relation of wavelength to smooth surface. You know, this is a surface having deep, having something crest, great crest, deep. These are all deeps on the surface. You know, beta, every surface have microscopic irregularities, either deeps or crest. Every surface. Yes, also our faces have everywhere deeps, anywhere some crest. Yes, spots. That is irregularities. Just like same, every surface have irregularities. Sometimes deep, sometimes crest. These are all irregularities. If these irregularities size, if these irregularities size is less than, irregularity size is less than to the wavelength, these irregularity size is less than to the wavelength, so it is said that surface is smooth. The size of irregularities is less than the wavelength of light that incident on the surface. Which light incident on the surface in comparison of that wavelength is greater than to the size. So I am saying this is a smooth surface. Either you can say the size of irregularity is less than in comparison to the wavelength of light that fall on the surface. Okay, so this is called a smooth surface. Now we see the next heading, irregular reflection or diffused reflection. I will tell you. What is irregular reflection? Irregular reflection. What is irregular reflection? When a parallel beam of light, let's consider when a parallel beam of light traveling through a certain medium, when a parallel beam of light traveling through a certain medium on striking a rough surface, reflect back in the same medium but in different direction. So it does not constitute the parallel beam as reflected ray. This phenomenon is called irregular reflection. You didn't understand? I know. See here. Let's consider. This is a rough surface. This is a rough surface. This is a which type of surface? Rough surface. When a parallel beam of light traveling through a certain medium, on striking a rough surface, this is not plane, it is which type surface? Rough surface. When a parallel beam of light traveling through a certain medium on striking rough surface reflect back in the same medium, yes, reflect back in the same medium but not in same direction, in different direction. Yes, these all rays reflect in same medium but not in parallel. First, second and third. First, second, third. These all rays are parallel? No. These are all not parallel. So reflect back in same medium but not in same direction, in different direction. Either one idhar, either one here, not in same direction, in different direction. So these are all, first, second, third, are not constitutes as a parallel beam. This is called irregular reflection. Once again, I want to tell you what is the definition of irregular reflection. When a parallel beam of light traveling through a certain medium on striking a rough surface, this is a rough surface, reflect back in the same medium, but in different direction. So these rays not constitutes as parallel beam. The reflected rays are not in the form of parallel beam. This phenomenon is called irregular reflection. This is reflected beam. This is first, second, third, reflected beam. These three lines are parallel. First, second, third, not parallel. This is called irregular reflection or diffused reflection. This is diffused reflection. Actually, the light rays is striking on the rough surface. The light rays is striking on the rough surface. Is scattered in all the direction. Scattered in all the direction. So not makes any image. These reflected beam is not parallel beam. These are all in different direction. So not makes image. This is called irregular reflection. What is the reason of irregular reflection? The reason of irregular reflection, this rough surface. Due to this rough surface, the reflected beam is not parallel. How? I will tell you. Trying to understand. Beta, on any rough surface, all the points faces the rays trying to understood. This is angle of incidence. 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 That means all the points, first point, second point, third point and fourth point, all the points of this rough surface face the incident rays. In different direction. Yes. This is at incidence angle I. This is at incidence angle I dash. At this point, the incidence angle is I double dash. At this point, the incident angle is I double dash. Listen me very carefully. These all points face the incident rays in different direction with different incidence angle. Here incidence angle is I, here incidence angle is I dash, here incidence angle is I double dash, here incidence angle is I triple dash. All the incidence angle is not same. No. at every point, the incident rays makes different incidence angle. So its reflected angle is also I. Its reflected angle is I dash. Its reflected angle is I double dash. Its reflected angle is I triple dash. Because reflected angle is equal to incidence angle. Angle of reflection is equal to angle of incidence. Actually, in all the points, at all the points, angle of incidence is different. Here I dash, here I double dash, here I triple dash. So at all the points, angle of reflection is also different. At this point, angle of reflection is I. At this point, angle of reflection is I dash. At this point, angle of reflection is I double dash. At this point, angle of reflection is I triple dash. So every point have different incidence angle. So rays reflected here, rays reflected with different reflecting angle. So incidence angle is different and reflecting angle is also different. So the reflected beam, this and this is not parallel. This is called diffused reflection. If incidence angle is not equal at every point for incidence rays, so how can it will be possible that reflecting angle will be equal? Incidence angle is different at every point. So at every point, reflecting angle is also different. So the rays reflected is not parallel to each other. This is called irregular reflection. Okay? And I want to tell you something else. What is? Actually, majorities, maximum object makes irregular reflection. Maximum object takes place on which irregular reflection. This wall is rough, takes irregular reflection. This board is rough, takes irregular reflection. My face is rough, takes irregular reflection. Okay. Due to irregular reflection, we can see the objects. Due to irregular reflection, we can see the object. Why? Because a rough surface, just like this, a rough surface reflect the rays in all direction, not any one direction. Yes, beta. Plane surface reflect the rays in how many direction? One direction. All the rays reflected in one direction. So great brightness. Here in regular reflection, great brightness. But irregular reflection, light comes in same direction. In one direction light coming, but reflected in every direction. In irregular reflection, light coming in one direction but reflected in every direction. Coming in one direction but reflected in every direction. So glare is cut, brightness is reduced due to reflection in every direction. Here is much intensity, great brightness, but after reflection, the glare cuts off. Light is spread in all the direction. So we can see the objects very smoothly, very restfully. In general illumination of object, the needed reflection is irregular reflection. And I want to tell you what is rough surface. What is rough surface? I want to tell you what is rough surface. If irregularities, size of irregularities is greater than in comparison to the wavelength of light fall on the surface. If the irregularities, this is irregularity, this deep is irregularity, this crest is irregularity. If this irregularities is greater than in comparison to the wavelength of the light fall on this, the light fall on this wavelength is less than in comparison to irregularities, then this is called rough surface. What is the rough surface? What is the rough surface? If the irregularities, this deep, this crest, these irregularities size is greater than in comparison to the wavelength of the light that fall on this. If these irregularities is bigger and wavelength is smaller, then this surface is called what? Rough surface. Okay, now we meet in next video with next topic. Goodbye.